Alright, give me a second, folks. Clearly I was alpha hunting with no results. For the longest time, I did not know you could sell items in this game. I'll just sell the stuff I don't need. And when I accumulate more of these, I'll just sell them all at once. Oh yeah! Well, I already spoiled it, but I did get a shiny Eevee. Take a look. Wait, was this the clip? Because there's an Eevee here. What was this clip? Whatever. Oh no, I think that was when something was chasing me. Nice. I don't know why the Switch recording is so loud. But anyways, take a look at this. I think this was the clip something was chasing me. Was it? What did I have this clip for? Yeah, that Alpha Alakazam was acting strange. Like, it was barely following me until now, and it wasn't even attacking either. Oh well. So here is day 9 of Eternatus. Not too much to look at. Okay, so today I bought another game. Actually, today I bought 2, but I'll get into the second one later on. So today, I saw on Instagram, of all places, that Best Buy was having another sale. So of course, I jumped at the opportunity. I took a look to see if there was anything I wanted at a discounted price, because everything's expensive now. And sure enough, one of the Switch 2 games I have wanted for a while now was indeed on sale. So I jumped at the opportunity. I picked it up. And like I said before, at my new job, there is literally a Best Buy right next door. I could walk there if I wanted to. So to save on, well, I wouldn't save on shipping because Best Buy has free shipping over like $35. But whatever. To save on time, after I finished work today, I just drove over and I picked it up myself. And I saw online when I was ordering, they only had one copy left in stock, so I bought it right away. So what game did I buy? I purchased Sonic Racing Cross Worlds for Nintendo Switch 2. Now, I mentioned this before. I will take the L and not play this game on PlayStation 5 with better graphics in exchange for being able to play this game on the go. You also have to keep in mind, 1, I have a Nintendo Switch 2, and 2, I do not have a PlayStation 5. And ever since Sony killed physical games, I don't plan to buy a PlayStation 5 anymore. Because I don't already have a PS5, a part of me was willing to wait for a PS6. And if I really want to, wait for a PS6 Pro. But they killed physical games. Sony, well, not Sony. PlayStation is dead to me. So yeah, even more reason for me to buy Sonic Racing Cross Worlds for Switch 2. This is now the second game I bought for Switch 2 that has been discounted. Because I refuse to buy these games unless discounted, because these games cost a lot. Anyway, so here are the 2 games I currently have for Switch 2. I can't see the screen. I purchased Sonic Racing Cross Worlds earlier today, and I bought Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, like 2 weeks ago. Also, discounted price. You might be wondering, how much did I spend on these games? Okay, so let me break down to you guys real quick. I hope you guys like math. So the games, their original price were $99.99. So $100. Keep in mind that I'm talking strictly Canadian prices. So, both of these games originally would have been $100 each. Let's not even talk about tax just yet. So $100 each, but during the sales, Hyrule Warriors, I spent $20 less. So instead of $99.99, it was $79.99. So the original price of games up here in Canada, until the prices went up. For like a decade, $79.99 was the norm for a game. Until the prices went up. So I celebrated buying the game at its full original price. Yippee. Okay, so that was Hyrule Warriors. What about Sonic? Actually, this one's even better. Sonic, instead of $99.99, I spent $69.99. Nice. I spent $30 less. This game was on sale for $30 cheaper. So of course I was going to jump at the opportunity and buy this game. So $69.99, after you factor in tax, it's $79 and I think like 8 cents. So, pretty much the original price of games, minus $1 without tax. And I know that me just mentioning these numbers is confusing, so I wrote it down for you guys. I wrote it down so that you can visually see the numbers. So the original price for video games up here in Canada for like the past decade, $79.99. And then after tax, it would be $90 and roughly like 39 cents. 38, 39. So that was the original price. Ever since the prices went up, the new standard is $99.99. After tax, it's about $113. So like I said, the original prices for the games were both $100. For Hyrule Warriors, I spent $20 less, so $70.99. The original price! The prices should have been like a year and a half ago. Or 2 years ago, I don't know. The original price before... The original cost, I should say, before the price went up. And then today, Sonic Racing, Crossworlds, $30 less, $69.99. So after tax, pretty much $79. Like I said, pretty much the original price, minus $1 without paying tax. The gaming company has made me celebrate buying games at their original price. In full. In their original price, folks. Man, fuck this world. Fuck you, Nintendo. You made... You opened Pandora's box and made the prices go up. Fuck you, Nintendo. However, Nintendo, if you were to sponsor me, I would say you were the most amazing company ever and you would do nothing wrong. Listen, money is money, folks. So I bought these... Well, I almost said I bought these 2 games today. So I now bought 2 Switch 2 games. There are 2 more games currently out that I want. Well, there's technically a third, but I refuse to buy the third one. So the 2 other Switch games I want are Mario Kart World and Kirby Air Riders. I want those 2. Well, actually, I want Kirby Air Riders the most. And if anything, out of all 4 games I currently want, Mario Kart World's like the one I least want, but I still want it nonetheless. And I don't think either games are going to go on sale anytime soon. I don't see any time in the near future Mario Kart World or Kirby Air Riders going on sale. Hey, prove me wrong. I'd be happily proven wrong. But I really just don't think either of those games are going to go on sale anytime soon. But I'll keep my eye out for it. You know Mario Kart World is worse? That game is $10 more. Instead of $99.99, it is $109.99. $110. Fuck out of here, Nintendo. I'm not spending $110 on Mario Kart. I'll patiently wait for a sale, thank you very much. Hell, even if it's just $10 off, better than nothing. I will patiently wait for a sale, thank you very much, Nintendo. And so those are the other two games I want. Mario Kart World and Kirby Air Riders. Pretty interesting how pretty much every Switch 2 game I want is a racing game. Mario Kart World, Kirby Air Riders, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. 3 of the 4 games I want are racing games. And then there's Hyrule Warriors. So the other game in question that is currently out that I do want, but I refuse to buy, is Pokemon Pokopia. Look, I'm not buying a game key card, alright? I'm not doing it. Only way I will play the game is if someone gives it to me. And let's face it, ain't nobody ever gonna gift me that game. That's just not happening. So as much as it sucks that I'm missing out on the Pokopia experience, well, it is what it is. I'm not buying a game key card. Which brings me to the other game I bought today. So I took even more advantage of Best Buy sale today. I browsed what other games that I just never picked up that are also on sale. I ended up buying Sonic X Shadow Generations for Switch 1. Because the Switch 2 version is a game key card. So there's just no competition. There's no choice right there. Of course I'm buying the Switch 1 version. I never picked up that game. And there's also another Sonic game I just never picked up. Sonic Frontiers. I do want to try that game. I just never picked it up. Sadly, Sonic Frontiers, it was sold out. The sale did apply to it, but it was sold out. I just have to patiently wait for the future. So yeah, that's another game I bought. I bought Sonic, you know, Cross, or whatever. Sonic Cross Shadow, Sonic X Shadow, Cross Worlds. Did I say Cross Worlds? Sonic X Shadow Generations. I bought that for the Switch 1. And unlike picking the game up myself, I actually had it shipped. I'm in no hurry to get my hands on this game. So I chose to have this one shipped. Hey, over $35 is free shipping, so why not? If you were wondering how much this game cost me, alright, so the original price was $74.99. Like, right now. Right now, $74.99. Price increase and all, or whatever. $74.99, so 75 bucks. However, the sale, $35 off. So I spent $39.99. And then, after tax, that would be $45.18. So $45 I spent on that game. And I think I heard that in the US, I'm going to assume this is before the prices for everything went up. It was not a $70 game, it was a $50 game. So let's see, 45 Canadian to USD. $31.97 for all you Americans out there. I spent $32 American on that game. Also, before anyone questions why I bought the Switch 2 version of Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, why not? Right? Why not? Before anyone tells me you could have just bought the Switch 1 version and then bought the upgrade pack, well, at that point, why don't I just buy the Switch 2 version? And besides, it was the Switch 2 version on sale anyways. And yeah, this game, I am pretty excited for this game. Amazingly, I'm more excited for Sonic Racing than I am Mario Kart Racing. What? Because Mario Kart World hasn't gotten any DLC. I think it's actually getting an update. Like its first update since the game came out. But there's no DLC for that game. At least not yet. Hopefully not yet. Maybe there will be. They taking their sweet time to introduce DLC to that game, by the way. Now, if you know anything about Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, well, the name kinda says it itself. Cross Worlds. There's a lot of crossover characters in this game. You have Persona 5 Joker, Hatsune Miku, SpongeBob, Pac-Man, Mega Man, Angry Birds. Yeah, I'm excited to play this game. I can't believe I'm actually more excited to play a Sonic racing game than I am Mario Kart. But that's just the world we live in. You know, when Mario Kart 8 came out, there were characters I wanted to see in the game, even though, you know, it's just a dream to see. You know, Mario Kart's no Smash Bros. I wanted to see Sonic show up. You know, back when Link showed up in Mario Kart, Splatoon, Animal Crossing, I wanted to see Sonic show up. But, as a gimmick. Instead of Sonic driving a cart, Sonic would just run. That's kind of Sonic's whole gimmick. Gotta go fast. I wanted to see Sonic run against Mario in a race cart. He would slip on a banana peel, he would get knocked off balance, getting hit by a shell, or whatever. That's what I wanted to see. But, you know, that was just a fan's dream. I did also want to see Kirby show up, racing on the Warp Star. But, yeah, that never happened. So I bought 2 Sonic games today, at discounted prices. And I will continue to keep my eye out for any sort of sales for the other 2 games I want. Sad thing is, though, in the future, there are 2 Nintendo Switch 2 games that I will 100% be buying full price day 1. No discount, no sales. Those being Pokemon Winds and Waves. Look, I gotta get my hands on the new Pokemon game, alright? Not only are the Pokemon games, let's face it, just not going on sale anytime soon, but also FOMO. I need to get my hands on those games. I need to. I'll be frothing at the mouth, scratching at the neck if I don't. Yo, pause on that. So yeah, in the future, I will be buying Winds and Waves, day 1. Wouldn't it be a real shame if Pokemon Winds and Waves were also game keycards? Well, them being mainline games, I would buy them, but I won't be happy about it. I know I just said I wouldn't buy game keycards, like Pokopia, but it's Pokemon we're talking about. Like, I've sunk too much time and money into the franchise. I need to play them. I need to add to my living decks. I need to hunt new shinies. Yes, I need to. Not I really want to, I need to. Anyway, so how much can I expect to spend on Winds and Waves? Well, let's do some quick math. 99.99 times 2, that's 199.98. Alright, simple enough. And then after you add in tax, assuming that the price of gaming doesn't go up by then. So 199.98 add tax, 200 $25.97. Ay, 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 ay. You know, I don't know how Pokemon can legally get away with this. Like, ever since the first games, right? Red and Blue, they've always sold two versions of the same game with minute differences. I don't know how they can legally get away with that. Like, how many other games actually are like this? And I'm not talking like another game gets sold, an enhanced version. No, I'm talking two versions at the same time with minor differences. To this day, I'm still a little confused by Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. I'm a little confused what that even is, but whatever. But like, I don't recall any other game franchise out there that sells two versions of the same game at the same launch day, and both games have very slight differences. I don't know how that's legally allowed, but it's worked for them. They just make minor changes between the two copies, and bam, they double their income. They double their sales. And poor retards like me will just buy it up. Ooh. What was that? Is that a Kadabra? Looks like a Kadabra to me. It is a shiny Kadabra. I'm getting more shiny from the Abra line than I am the actual Mime Jr. line. Hey, wait a second. Don't I need to restart the game? Wait, hold on. Yeah, to get my berries back. Okay, we know this Kadabra's here. So let's go take a look. We saved the game. That Kadabra's not going to despawn. I'm pretty sure we saved the game. What is this we I'm talking about? I saved the game. Okay, so, quick follow-up on something I mentioned before. A certain shiny challenge that is incredibly stupid. So getting shiny Kyogre, Groudon, and Rayquaza into Pokemon X and Y. If you think about it, the three of them are shiny locked in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Sun and Moon, well, they just can't transfer back, period. So the only ways to get shiny Kyogre, Groudon, and Rayquaza in Pokemon X and Y is to hunt them in a prior generation. The full 8192 odds. So I actually looked it up. I looked up what games can they be caught in. You cannot catch them in Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. You cannot catch them in Black and White, and Black 2 and White 2. For a second, I thought, oh, so you can only catch them shiny in Gen 3 and then transfer them up. And then I remembered there's another set of games before Gen 6. Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And I'm like, oh yeah. I always forget these are Gen 4 games. I always forget Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out after Diamond and Pearl. So I looked it up. Yep, you can catch them in there. And honestly, that might be your best bet. Like your best case. Maybe. I don't know, it's between Gen 3 and Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Unless you want to hunt an Emerald's broken RNG. So, if you want to get Shiny Kyogre, Groudon, and Rayquaza into Pokemon X and Y, you gotta hunt them in either Gen 3 or Heart Gold and Soul Silver and transfer them up. That is the only way to get them shiny into X and Y legitimately. Oh, you want to know what else? So I saw this report online that certain horror movies are actually getting follow-ups, I guess. In the movie Weapons, I almost left without catching that Kadabra. In the movie Weapons, the character Gladys, she's actually getting a prequel film. And then, for the movie Longlegs, we're actually getting another installment set in the same world. So interesting. We're getting some horror movies fleshed out, some horror movie franchises fleshed out. Hey, I'm here for it. Okay, speaking of movies, I've delayed this long enough. Today we got the first official trailer for Avengers Doomsday. And let's break it down, shall we? I'll link it down below in case anyone watching in the future doesn't remember which trailer I'm talking about. If anyone in the future is even watching this. And you would have to be in the far future, like, you know, maybe 50 years has passed since Avengers Doomsday came out, and you have no idea what the first trailer looked like. So, the Avengers Doomsday trailer is the only thing I have to go over today. Look, tomorrow, I should be able to stay home for the first time in like over 2 weeks. Tomorrow I should have a day off, so tomorrow I can finally have time to watch stuff to go over here. Unless some bullshit happens. Tomorrow is also my dad's birthday. So we will be going out for dinner. We're going to be eating at a buffet. So we'll have to see what time I get back tomorrow night. So, the Avengers Doomsday trailer. It was a good trailer. Only I, among a lot of discourse I've seen online, say that there's not the same aura to this film like the Infinity War trailer had. The Infinity War trailer was hype. It was hype. Years of build-up. Of course it would be hype. Avengers Doomsday trailer, yes, it gets you excited. Yes, it looks good. But, it just doesn't have that same energy, that same oomph that Infinity War had. And gee, I wonder why. Maybe it's because Marvel did a pretty shit job building up to Avengers Doomsday. Because there just wasn't any build-up, period. You know, we had years of seeing Thanos in the background. Post-credit scenes, and that one scene in the first Guardians film. But this? The only real build-up we had was the Loki series, which... let's face it, changed course. Was meant to be on Kang, but then they kind of retconned that at the very end, like the very end. We saying we saw Doctor Doom at the end of Fantastic Four is very generous. And then there was the very subtle tease at the end of Captain America Brave New World where the leader warned Sam about, the other worlds are coming. So yeah, not gonna lie, it's been a pretty shitty build-up to Avengers Doomsday, but it is what it is. Yeah. Alright, so this trailer opens up. What was that? This trailer opens up with Charles Xavier in his school for the gifted. Ugh. I can never catch a break, you know? Okay, I am so sorry to do this. I'm not gonna end, however, I know I just started speaking about the trailer, but I gotta hold off on just a bit. Yo, 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 yo! So my brother-in-law is about to leave, however, they want to eat cake with my dad before he goes. This is a thing that my family does. We have birthday cake before the birthday, as well as the birthday itself, so we have cake twice. So I gotta dip for a couple minutes, eat cake with my dad, and then I'll come back. I'll make a note of when I left off, that way I can just edit out all the empty time. Tell you what I'll do. I will leave the game here in case the space-time distortion decides to form. Ugh, intense sun. Okay, I'll be right back. Ugh, intense sun again. You can tell because the corners of the screen have this white border to it. I never noticed that until I started doing this. Okay, weather looks good. I'll be back. I'll just leave the game running. Hopefully a space-time distortion forms. I'll be back soon. Okay, I'm back. Anything? No. And then watch. It would have formed the moment I got back. Like, had I not left, it would have started to form. Like, there's no way one did form and I completely missed it, right? There would have been a very slim chance that 5 minutes of waiting, one forms, 10 minutes of waiting, one forms. I may have not even hit the 10-minute mark. Oh well. We had mango cake. And why does every time a cake have fresh strawberries, the strawberries are always sour? Like, always sour? You never have a cake where the strawberries are sweet. And you know another thing? So we get our cakes from the grocery store because of convenience. You know, I wonder what do grocery stores do with the cakes that they don't sell? Because they have like at least a dozen cakes on display ready to be sold. And if they're not sold by the end of the day, what does the grocery store do with that dozen of cakes? Like, I genuinely don't know this. If they either make the cakes fresh in-house, like every single morning, or they order it from a supplier. It's like, damn, if you're telling me that it goes to waste, that seems like a massive waste of food, but that's the price of convenience, is it not? The convenience of being able to go to a grocery store and buy fresh food every single day. That means the cake has to be made fresh and put on display every single day. And you wouldn't want to buy a cake that was sitting out the entire day before, right? And I'm sure there's some sort of like health code to prevent them from doing so. And before you have the idea of, oh, maybe the workers will bring it home. Yeah, but every single day? Not even a week and they'll get sick of eating cake. Hell, one whole cake will be able to last them a whole week. So, like, if they do order the cakes from a supplier, and if they do throw out every cake that they do not sell for the day, then damn, that just seems like a big waste of money to the grocery store, right? The grocery store has to pay to bring these cakes in, and then when they're not sold, well, that's just money wasted. Because the cake wasn't sold, now it has to go to waste. And you have to think, poor cake manufacturer, right? Poor cake supplier. The people there, they work every single day to make cake, to mix the batter, bake it, and whatnot, knowing that more than likely, all the effort they just put into making the cake, the beautiful art of food that they just crafted, is going to go to waste because nobody bought it. And they have to make it every single day. Exactly the same every single time. I am so sleepy. You know, I woke up early this morning for work. Thankfully, I should be able to sleep in tomorrow morning. But just watch me naturally wake up early. Just watch that be the case. Anyway, so I'll try to accommodate and edit out that little section of me just, you know, going to eat cake. Or maybe I won't. I don't know. It's not like it matters in the end anyways. Nobody's gonna watch this. Ugh. I am too tired to think. But let's go over that Avengers Doomsday trailer, shall we? Hold on. Also, something about the FIFA World Cup yesterday that, I don't know, I didn't stick around to the end. Did Donald Trump hand the winning country the trophy? Like him or hate him, you have to admit, it is a pretty big honor to have the President of the United States hand you the World Championship trophy or whatever. Excuse me. Okay, hold on. Let me pour myself some water, and then we will go over the trailer. You know what's interesting is, so I actually set out and planned to drink all the water I had today at work just to hydrate. But then the bathroom throughout the day just got filthier and filthier to the point when I walked in. You know how when the floor is wet, like not when you mop the floor, when the floor is wet, people step on it and there are footprints left behind. At some point when I went to the bathroom, the public bathroom, the entire floor was covered in footprints, and there were humongous puddles below the urinals. I'm just like, I don't want to be in here longer than I have to. I'm gonna pee, I'm gonna get out of here quick, and I'm not gonna drink any more water. I do not want to head back in there until I go home. I do not want to have to pee again until I am home. Oh, another funny story. So, today, when I got into work, today was just me, by the way. Me, myself, and I. And I gotta admit, the peace and quiet is nice. That's something I like about this new job. The peace and quiet. Just me, myself, and I. All alone. Nobody to judge me. Nobody there. wondering what I'm doing, do whatever I want. Of course, I do have to halt all actions when someone walks in. So yeah, today was just me. The moment I arrived, there was a dead mouse on the floor. Poor little guy. Yeah, the moment I arrived, there was just a dead mouse. I was a little afraid if it was still alive. The moment I tried to remove it, it would just spring up and dash away. Nope, that thing was dead. You can tell because there was a couple of blood stains on the floor, like a couple of dried up blood drops. I don't know what could have happened, you know? Just from a quick glance, it didn't look like anything had injured the mouse. Maybe it consumed rat poison somewhere and coughed up some drops of blood before dying. But still, poor little thing. What I ended up doing was I went and grabbed the public broom and duster pan or whatnot that is conveniently placed right next to the public garbage bin outside the public bathrooms. So I really quickly grabbed that, I sweeped it in, and then I returned the broom and dustpan. Now, what I actually wanted to do was go back, grab the dustpan, and bring the mouse outside. Put it, like, in some grass, where it can naturally decompose into. I wanted to do that, but first, I wanted to charge my phone a bit. By the time I decided to actually get up, bring the rat outside to, like, put underneath a tree, well, it was already gone. Maybe the custodian already spotted it and just dumped it into the garbage can. Poor little thing. It didn't deserve that fate. To die from who knows what, and then for its body to be put into a black garbage bag and probably thrown away. I wanted to bring the mouse outside onto some grass or underneath a tree, where at least the body will decompose into the soil. Oh well. Okay, so that Avengers Doomsday trailer, let's finally get into it. So we begin by seeing Charles Xavier at Xavier's School for the Gifted. And we see Charles looking outside the window because some big explosion is happening outside. It might be an incursion happening. Now, I already saw this moment memed to hell with a bunch of captions. Certain captions like, that's not special effects, they actually blinded him, that's why he's reacting that way. Or, they sent this guy into Smash Brothers, because the window did kind of look like the Smash logo. Oh, let me pull up some of the memes I saw, because you bet whenever something significant posts online, Twitter is first to meme about it. It's an Abra. It is a shiny Abra. Okay, we'll come back for it. Because we still need to restart the game so I can get my berries back. Oh, by the way, I saw this post on Twitter. I don't know how legit it is. So it's a tweet saying Atlas actually comments on a Persona 1 remake. And it's quoted saying, well, this is translated, so I don't know how accurate this is, or if this is even real. We know that many fans of the classic want the modern version to be faithful and keep the first-person perspective, while new audiences prefer third-person. To balance it, we'll make the first second-person game in history. I wonder what the hell that would even look like. What would a second-person game even look like? Only thing I can think of is like over the shoulder, kind of like the way shooter games look. Like how some Metal Gear Solid games look. That's what I imagine a second-person game would look like. Wait, there's a video about second-person video game. Ah. There is actually a game that has that. Really. So anyways, yeah, there's that comment. I don't know how legit it is. That Atlas seemingly is making a Persona 1 remake down the line. Maybe like a year or two after Revival comes out. So, Persona 1 R? Potentially? Anyway, so let's get back into the Avengers Doomsday trailer. So yeah, we see what appears to be an incursion happening on the X-Men Earth that Charles Xavier is looking out of. Well, the window. We also get throughout the trailer Dr. Doom having a voiceover. It is very much Robert Downey Jr.'s voice, but with an accent. And here, I'm calling it now. I am calling it now. And I feel like it's not that much of a stretch to call, but I'm calling it now. The entirety of Avengers Doomsday, or like 99% of it, we are not going to see Dr. Doom unmasked. We're not going to see Robert Downey Jr.'s face. I'm predicting 99% of the film, he's not even going to take his mask off. The Avengers are going to fight this Dr. Doom villain and have no idea that the person behind the mask looks just like Tony Stark. Yeah, last 5 minutes. Literally, in my opinion, or my theory, the end of the film. He's going to take his mask off. Our characters are going to see he looks exactly like Tony Stark. And the movie will end. That's literally how I imagine the film will go. Then part 2, first 15 minutes, is the origin story. So that's my theory on how the film will play out. They're just not going to know what Victor Von Doom's going to look like. Literally, end of the film. He's going to take off his mask, and he's going to look identical to Tony Stark. And that'll be the cliffhanger. You know what's funny, though? Like, a lot of the movie tropes that they are probably going to do is ruined by the fact that they announced the cast. Kind of like the triumphant return of Steve Rogers. Oh wait, we already know this. They announced he's returning. Kind of like, oh my god, why does Dr. Doom look just like Tony Stark? Oh wait, they announced his casting right away. So I suppose anyone who never kept up with the news and actually is watching the film blind. Have you seen the comic story where they swap bodies? Yes, I have. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm confused on who's who. Let me think. The green and silver Iron Man suit, and then the red and yellow Doctor Doom suit. I'm confused who's who. Who is Tony? Who is Victor? Whoever has the colors. That's not helpful. Tony is yellow and red. So Tony Stark is the yellow and red Doctor Doom suit. And Victor Von Doom is in the green and silver Iron Man suit. Anyway, so back to the trailer. Something I noticed about the trailer is they're really not showing Doctor Doom. Like, we get some shots of him, but we don't get a good look at him. We barely get to see his suit, and you bet we don't get to see his face. That's why I theorize that we are just not going to see him unmasked for the entirety of the film. Until the end. I'm assuming they just swap and Victor wins a fight if they follow the comics. I'm very curious. I'm sure we all are. I'm very curious why he looks exactly like Tony Stark. There's all these convoluted theories like... Aw, crap. There's all these convoluted theories like, oh, he... Steve Rogers went back in time, caused a branch timeline, caused an incursion. Tony Stark, when he went back and met his father in the past, that set off some sort of chain reaction to where Tony became Victor. And I'm just thinking, maybe the simplest answer would be the best. He's just a variant. He is literally just Victor Von Doom from the Fantastic Four Earth that just happens to look identical to Tony Stark. That's it. Here, think of it this way. Johnny Storm just happens to look identical to Steve Rogers. Nobody questions that. Honestly, I'd love that. Nothing special, just the same face. Just a cosmic coincidence. I wonder if there's going to be any subtle hints in the film. Like, when the Fantastic Four show up, they see a picture of the Avengers. They see a picture of Tony Stark's face, and they're like, oh my god. But that's it. They don't even allude to anything. They don't explain it. Where'd the shiny one go? Why you gotta look right at my direction? Turn around! So yeah, in the trailer, thank you, they barely show Doctor Doom. We get glimpses of him, but we don't get a good look at him, nor do we ever see his face. So for a majority of this trailer, we have Thor narrating. And if you picked up on what he's saying, he basically just says, yo, this team sucks. And it does. Thor just goes on to say, like, I have fought enemies stronger than all of us put together. It's just like, you lot are pathetic. I fought with the Avengers, and they were awesome compared to you guys. You guys are awful. And you're the people defending Earth? We are screwed. We are facing Doctor Doom, and you guys are who I have to work with. Let's think for a second. Let's think. Thor just got his ass beat by Doctor Doom. That's a lot of what people are theorizing, that Thor is going to have the Hulk humiliation moment in Infinity War. Beginning of Infinity War, Hulk got his ass beat by Thanos to really prove how strong and menacing Thanos is. People are theorizing that's going to happen to Thor. Thor is going to fight Doom at the beginning of the film, get absolutely smoked. And that'll just set up how strong, how much aura Doom has right at the beginning of the film. Right? So Thor, if he's really scared of this guy, which is like, really now, Thor, you are scared of Doctor Doom. You fought Thanos with all 6 Infinity Stones. You fought Gore the God Butcher at the center of the universe in front of eternity. And yet you're afraid of Doctor Doom. I'm going to assume he's not afraid of him as a person, but more of what he's capable of. Incursions. But anyways, let's think about who exactly Thor has on his side to fight alongside him against Doctor Doom. He has Sam Wilson's Captain America, Bucky Barnes, Ant-Man, Yelena Belova, Red Guardian. It's already not looking that good. He has Black Panther, M'Baku, Namor. Again, not looking that good. I know Namor is ultra powerful, but like against Doctor Doom. So yeah, Thor is kind of thinking, you guys suck. Anyway, so in the trailer, we see Thor inside of the new Avengers Tower with the Thunderbolts, with the Fantastic Four, with Ant-Man for some reason. Ant-Man, Sam Wilson, they are there for some reason. How did they get there? I don't know. And I saw people point out there is a big empty gap in the middle of the room. You know? It's almost like there's someone else standing there that they digitally removed. And I saw people also question this too. Where are certain powerful characters in this movie? You would think a big ass threat like Doctor Doom and, you know, the risk of incursions, you would have someone like Doctor Strange or Captain Marvel. Where the hell are they? Maybe they're in this film. Maybe. But at this very moment, they have not been announced to be in the film. They have not been marketed to return for the film. So at this very moment, before the movie comes out, we are still months away from the film coming out, it seems like they are not in the film. It's like, well, where the hell are they? If you're telling me Strange is still traveling with Clea, well, he certainly took his sweet time then, didn't he? Anyway, so we also do see that Thor has a new haircut. He has short hair again for some reason. Seems like the Russo brothers really like Thor with short hair. I mean, think about it. Every time Thor has been in a Russo brothers movies, except for Endgame, it was Taika Waititi who directed Thor Ragnarok, which, can you believe it's almost been 10 years since that film came out? But in Infinity War, Thor had short hair, and now, again, in Avengers Doomsday, also by the Russo brothers, he has short hair again. Me, personally, I prefer Thor with long hair. That's just, you know, more iconic to the character. And it almost seems like in this film, his hair is a little too short. I mean, his hair, call me crazy, his hair length looks different depending on which shot it is. Whatever, we also see Shuri, M'Baku, Namor. There's this fight which looks like... this fight between the... you know, the Wakandans and the equivalent to Atlanteans. Anyway, so, the X-Men characters. We see Cyclops suited up. It's beautiful. Finally, ditching the black leather. It's beautiful. Although he is missing the yellow trunks, but I'm okay with that. Maybe it would look a little goofy in live action. Superman's underwear looks a little goofy, right? So Cyclops not having the yellow trunks, I think is fine. We get this glimpse of what is sure to be a badass scene in the movie. A fight between Shang-Chi and Gambit. I'm sure that fight will be badass. You know, this movie is really just an Avengers vs. X-Men movie in disguise. we see the return of the king, Loki. Yes, Loki. His series was excellent. I am so glad to see Loki back. And we see Loki in a setting which looks like inside of a house. So, my theory on how the film will play out is Loki will go and warn Steve Rogers inside his house after living with Peggy Carter for who knows how long. I mean, okay, first of all, something about the entire plot of the film has leaked. I stayed away from that. I did not look at the plot leaks. However, there is this AI video floating around of... There's this AI video floating around of Loki visiting Steve Rogers at his house, warning him doom is coming. I don't know if that was part of the plot leaks or not, you know? But maybe that's actually how it will play out in the film. Loki will visit Steve Rogers in his home and recruit him. I also imagine this will happen in the film. Obviously, Loki and Thor will reunite. I want that to be an emotional moment. You have to keep in mind that Thor lost his brother long ago. Long ago. Infinity War took place in 2018, and we in real life are almost a decade away from that. But you have to also keep in mind, in universe, there has been a 5-year time jump, and then multiple years time jump. Remember, at the end of Thunderbolts, there was like, what, an 18-month-long time jump too? So Thor assumes that he lost Loki long ago, which he did. He has no reason to believe that his brother is still alive, let alone a variant. So I want that scene to be emotional. I want Thor and Loki reuniting to be emotional. It's like not seeing your sibling for a year or so. A year? Because gods. But yeah, I want their reunite... What? I almost said reunition. I want their reunion to be emotional. So I imagine Loki is going to warn Thor about Doom. And then that's where we see Thor fighting Doctor Doom. He's going to lose badly. And then he's going to go back to Earth and gather Earth's defenders. And then he realizes the Avengers are gone. I'm stuck with you guys. The Thunderbolts, the Fantastic Four, and the Wakandans. Well, the X-Men too. Well, the Fantastic Four, they're actually good. And so are the X-Men. Thunderbolts, though, they're present. Can't wait for the Deadpool scene. So yeah, that's how I imagine the film will go. So then, also in the trailer, we see what looks like Shuri and the Wakandans inside the ocean, but the ocean is being parted by probably Namor's powers. I'll be honest, I kind of don't care about the Wakandans. Like, out of all the groups of characters in this film, I care about the Wakandans the least. I care about the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, the Thunderbolts, and... oh yeah, the Wakandans are there. Unfortunately, if this was Chadwick Boseman, I would be a little bit more excited, but, yeah. So we also see some of our characters looking like they have infiltrated the Xavier school. We see Yelena, who is looking hot, along with Mr. Fantastic. She fights against Mystique, who shapeshifts into Yelena, also looking very hot. Yelena, she bad as hell. And I'm glad to see online I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one who thinks, God damn, Yelena, you look good in this film. I know she looks identical to Thunderbolts, but like... Given how agile Yelena is, since she's a Black Widow, oh my goodness, imagine the things she can get into. Imagine the freaky things. You know, have you seen the meme? Remember the meme of when Thunderbolts came out? People were saying, like, me after hearing Yelena is lonely, and then running, just running on my way. Let me just say, Yelena can violate my rights. What? And also, imagine this for a moment. Mystique? Not saying Mystique isn't hot herself, but Mystique turning into Yelena, and then we have the real Yelena? I'd love to come in between them. What? Yo, I'd break up that fight in a heartbeat. Actually, no, I'd just die if I tried to get in between them fighting. And I can't be the only one who also questions, how the fuck is Mystique in this film? Didn't she die? Mystique shouldn't be alive at the moment. Maybe I'll go over that later on. But yeah, we see Yelena, who is She is fine. Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch Avengers Doomsday for the plot. The plot only, and nothing else. Yo, I also saw this too. Imagine if Mystique, instead of shapeshifting into Yelena, shapeshifted into Natasha. Imagine if she did that. Then again, Mystique would have no knowledge of who Natasha is, and goddammit, another alpha of these. So we see a bunch of, like, real quick flashes of characters. We see Scott Lang with Cassie. A lot of people are theorizing because of this one shot, Scott is going to die. You know, I saw people online pointing out that, you know, we all know that Paul Rudd doesn't age, but it seems he finally has. Like, people are saying Paul Rudd has finally started to age, and he's getting a little too old. Look, I don't want to see any of our characters die, but if there are casualties, just to raise the stakes, I'm still not saying I want it to be Scott. Oof, like a torpedo. Anyway, so, yeah, we get that money shot of Thor using Stormbreaker and Doom stopping Stormbreaker with just 2 fingers. Not even a full hand like Hela did with Mjolnir. 2 fingers to block Stormbreaker. And this is also the shot where it looks like Thor's haircut is like a little bit too short. Ah, you know what? I'm done with this. What else was there? Obviously, there's the ending to where Thor reunites with Steve Rogers. And he proves he really is Steve Rogers by summoning Mjolnir and proving he's worthy. This is our Steve Rogers. You have to think, this is so confusing for Thor. So, Thor, a couple years ago, well, in universe, it would have been a long time ago, you know, after facing Thanos, Thor had to have known. Of course he would know that Steve Rogers went back in time to return Mjolnir, but also stayed in the past, right? Of course Thor would know this. Thor would know that Steve Rogers, in present day, would be an old man. So for Thor, a couple years later, to see his friend young again, it just wouldn't make sense, right? You would have to think it'd be so confusing for Thor. Hell, it's kind of confusing for us, too. He lived in the past, but this Cap is plucked out of his past life before he grew old. Yeah, it's a little bit confusing. And you know what's funny to think? I'm getting so many shinies, but what I want. Okay, first I'll get rid of you. I'm pretty sure if I attack this thing, it'll just get one shot. So I'm just gonna throw Pokeballs. Finally. Okay, anyway, so... You know what's funny to think? In present day... it's nighttime. In present day, MCU, we still don't know where Steve Rogers is, like Old Man Steve. We still don't know where he is, if he's still alive, or if he's dead. Maybe he passed away right as he arrived in, you know, this timeline again. Passed away from old age, or maybe old Steve is still out there somewhere. We don't know where he is, actually. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who noticed this, but young Steve Rogers in this film looks a little bit thinner. Now, I know Chris Evans is aging. He's getting older, and he can't keep on putting on all that muscle. You know, not everyone is a walking tower of testosterone like Chris Hemsworth is. But, you know, Steve's face looks a little bit slimmer. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, this is one nitpick I have regarding Steve Rogers. More so later on in the MCU. Why is he no longer blonde? He was very clearly blonde in the early days, but then after he grew a beard, his hair just turned dark. His hair and beard is dark. It's like, why? I know it's Chris Evans' natural colors, but like, the character has always been blonde. Alright, so this seemingly is a very Earth-based threat. And I say this because I'm thinking, obviously the Guardians of the Galaxy aren't going to be in this film. However, there is one character who is on Earth, Peter Quill. Where is Peter Quill? He should be living with his grandfather right now. Shouldn't Peter Quill join the fight since he's now on Earth? Yo, I feel like it's such a wasted potential to not bring back Peter Quill. Even the end of Guardians 3, it said the legendary Star-Lord will return. Yeah, right. Like that has happened yet. But it's such a wasted potential to not bring back Peter Quill. Imagine if Star-Lord, of all characters, appeared in other projects. I know he's trying to live a peaceful life on Earth, but still! Like, Peter Quill should be on Earth right now. That's why I'm saying this is a very Earth-based threat. The incursions. When the incursions happen between Earths, I kind of doubt it will affect certain other planets. Unless it does, what do I know? Like the incursions of planet Earth. Well, Earth is very far away from planets like Xandar, right? Would Xandar also have incursions at the same time? Would every planet have incursions with their own multiversal planetary counterparts at the same time? Or is it just Earth? You know, it's kind of like the same thing with DC. Crisis on Infinite Earths. It's like, why Earth? The universe is impossibly big with millions of planets. Why Earth? Of all planets, right? And you know what? Call me a little crazy. So, I don't have that much knowledge on Doctor Doom. Like, I don't know all that much about him. How exactly is Doom able to create incursions? We're talking a person who, yes, he's able to wield magic and science, but that's a far stretch to saying he can collide two different universes. He can break the dimensional barrier and collide two Earths. That's kind of stretching it. I don't know. Call me crazy. I kind of don't understand how Doom is this powerful. Powerful enough to do this. Like, I can understand Kang the Conqueror. He is a timeline hopping villain character. But Doctor Doom? Like, I could see Kang the Conqueror doing this, but I kind of have a hard time believing Doctor Doom is able to do this. Then again, I just don't know that much about Doctor Doom. I know, like, the very surface level information about him. So, the Avengers Doomsday trailer. I'm excited for this film. It's interesting to think that Marvel has been on a drought lately, not only with films in general, but with good films. We're about to get Spider-Man Brand New Day, and then the next film will be Avengers Doomsday. Before this, wasn't it Thunderbolts and then Fantastic Four? Both of those films were good, you know? I also love the fact that the Russo brothers, when making Avengers Doomsday, just borderline said, forget all the garbage you put out. We're just gonna pick out the good and important things and only make those matter. Not saying some of these projects were bad, but, you know, projects like, especially She-Hulk, Echo, Miss Marvel, Moon Knight. Yeah, we're not gonna bother including any of those. There is a rumor, only a rumor right now, we don't know if it's true. There is a rumor that Moon Knight will return in Daredevil Born Again Season 3. It'd be great to get some more crossover characters besides Swordsman and Kamala Khan's father. Ah, finally, more Jake. We'll have to see. Man, they should have done... They should have done a Moon Knight Season 2 by now. That was actually a good show. I liked it. We should have gotten a Moon Knight Season 2 by now. A Hawkeye Season 2. But no, we're getting a Wonder Man Season 2. You know, I saw this clip floating around after the trailer 2. I don't know what project this is. I don't know if it's AI or not. I'll be honest. You can't tell anymore. This might actually be a movie out there. I didn't bother looking it up. It's a clip of whatever film or show this is from. I assume it's a film. Whoever Anthony Mackie plays, and I'm not even gonna attempt to butcher this guy's name, so I'm just gonna refer to him as Simon Williams actor, Wonder Man's actor. I really am not even gonna bother to butcher his name. The caption was Captain America meeting Wonder Man, and then it's just a clip of of Anthony Mackie telling him, "Just kiss me already." And the two actors actually kiss in whatever project this is. I have no interest looking up what project this is. I do not want to know, nor watch the movie where Anthony Mackie kisses this other actor. I do not want to watch this film, or whatever this project is. But it's pretty funny to think that people actually found this clip and just captioned it, Captain America when he meets Wonder Man. Oh yeah, there was also a clip, a teaser clip for Spider-Man Brand New Day. It is of Spider-Man and the Punisher arguing, and then the Hulk comes in. The Punisher just goes like, "Oh shit!" and then runs away, because he realizes he's not built for this. He is not equipped to take on the Hulk. And you know what? Smart man. The Punisher may have plot armor, but he is no match against the Hulk. Hell, Spider-Man should be no match against the Hulk. Isn't it crazy to think it took 7 years to undo the damage the Russo brothers did with the Hulk character? They completely neutered Hulk in Avengers Doomsday in 2019. And it took until 2026 to finally get Rage, Savage Hulk back. Like I said before, at the time, we applauded the Russo brothers for the work they did with Infinity War and Endgame. However, especially Endgame, not gonna lie, if you think about it, the Russo brothers kind of did more harm than good. The 5-year time jump was very harmful for the MCU. Made a lot of dates confusing. To the point where they purposely did not tell you the date in the projects. They did not tell you what year it has been, how long certain events have taken place from... What? Like, the 5-year time jump was more harmful than good. And also Hulk. Look how they massacred my boy. Ugh. Oh man, a Mime. A Mr. Mime outbreak. I don't want that shit. Is it down there? It's down there. Oh, I forgot to screenshot this and show you guys. I got a shiny Necrozma in a lucky trade today. A lucky remote trade. Another random person I have on my friends list wanted to do a lucky trade. Well, actually, I only have regionals up as what I'm offering. So, from the Pom Pom Oricorio, I think a Throw and a Durant. Oh, I didn't really care, so I just picked one randomly. I gave him the Oricorio. And he traded me a shiny Beast Ball Necrozma. Only other options I chose was a shiny Slowpoke and a shiny Tyranitar. Hey, he had it up offering, right? I'm trying my best, okay? You know, I'm trying to be fair. I'm only trading away regionals. But when people only have legendaries as shinies as what they're offering to trade, it's like, well, I'm trying my best to be fair. I'm trying my best to, you know, ask for something in return that is of equal value of what I'm trading away. But when you guys put only shinies and legendaries, it's like, no, I kind of have no choice. This is all you're giving me to pick. Yeah. Anything more to mention about the Avengers Doomsday? There was no Nightcrawler in this trailer. No Nightcrawler at all. Also, no Sentry either. You know, I think it's going to be very interesting to see Marvel post Secret Wars, because let's face it, we all know that they're going to do a soft reboot after Secret Wars. Some characters will stay the same. Most likely Charlie Cox playing Daredevil, you know, characters like that. But some of the big characters, like coincidentally every single Avenger, will probably be recast. Steve Rogers, Tony Stark, maybe not Thor, maybe not. Maybe Hulk, maybe not. Hawkeye, probably. Black Widow, more than likely. Unless they keep Yelena. Which I would not complain if they do. So, like, it's gonna be interesting to see the soft reboot. Some characters will stay and look the same, but majority of the characters will be recast. And then it'll just be confusing. I think it'll be more confusing than actually satisfying to see majority of the Earths merge and this Earth have a new timeline. New timeline of events. But it would just be the events that we've seen, just all combined. You know, kind of like the X-Men movies, those now take place in the same world as the Avengers timeline of films. It's just, now we have to piece together in our minds, yes, all that happened simultaneously. It's kind of like the way Crisis on Infinite Earths did it. All our characters are now on one Earth. They have a new timeline where they've always been there together. I feel like it's just gonna be more confusing. Anyway, so yeah, Secret Wars is going to probably reboot the Marvel Universe. But, you know, so like certain characters we know exist in this universe, damn, you know, they're innocent. They don't deserve to be, you know, potentially killed during Doomsday and Secret Wars. You know, characters like Matt Murdock, characters like Simon Williams. When an incursion is on the brink of happening to our MCU Earth, he will most likely be with his mom. Be with his mom and brother. With Trevor. Anyway, so does anyone realize that Mystique should just not be here? She should be dead. Wait, check. Because we know that young Mystique, played by Jennifer Lawrence, will eventually age into the Rebecca Romaine version of Mystique. But if you remember, after Days of Future Past, the timeline got reset. In the new timeline in the year, I think 1992, because it's 8 years before the first X-Men film in the year 2000. So in the year 1992, Mystique died. She was killed accidentally by Jean Grey. So in the new timeline, Mystique has been dead since 1992. How was she not only alive in present day, but in this film? Because the thing is, we don't even see or hear about Mystique in present day, because you can assume because she's dead. So, let me think. After X-Men Dark Phoenix, which took place in the year 1992, canonically, let me think. Canonically, next in the new timeline should be the Deadpool films. At least that's where I put them. I put the Deadpool films in the new timeline that was made after X-Men Days of Future Past. And those films never referenced Mystique. Even though Deadpool 2 did show the original X-Men with the younger cast, but it's like, that alone makes no sense whatsoever, so I'm going to ignore that. But anyway, so yeah, the Deadpool films don't mention Mystique. So the next film that takes place should be Logan. Wait, no. Should be New Mutants, but let's just skip over that. So the next film should be Logan in the year 2029, where pretty much all mutants have died off. No mention of Mystique. I don't know. Mystique being in this film really sticks out to me because she should just not be in this movie because her character died. I feel like the film won't even cover this. They're just gonna go, don't worry about it. She's here. Does this mean she survived? I guess. Yeah, let's go with that. Damn, X-Men Apocalypse was 10 years ago. That came out in 2016. That was 10 years ago X-Men Apocalypse came out. You know, I share the same sentiment that a lot of people have, that after the MCU gets rebooted, focus on the X-Men. Just like how you focus on the Avengers to start off with. You don't have to solely focus on the X-Men, you still have the Fantastic Four. What is it? Is it Mime Jr. by chance? Where even is it? Nope, those are Baniri. Alright, I changed my mind. I'm not gonna edit out that portion, because I don't want to. What do you guys think? Rebooted X-Men timeline? Do you want them to bring back James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender? Only problem with that with that would be when they actually do age up to be like 80 to 90 years old, they will just not look like Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. They aged into different looking old men. Ah, you gotta love the risky continuity with casting different actors to play the same characters at different points in their lives. Well, let me make it daytime first. Oops. Let's see, can we get lucky and get an outbreak spawn right at the end? No. No, we cannot. Damn. Well, nothing tonight. Continue this next time. Unless one last quick check for a Mime Jr. outbreak? No. Back to... we're already jumping into Intense Sun. Back to the distortion waiting I do. What? Okay, bye.